He is the athletic director of Alamogordo Public Schools, as he oversees everything from the middle school level all the way up to the high school level. He is an exceptionally busy man, and we always appreciate it when he can take a little bit of time out of his schedule, and that's Lawrence Johnson. Mr. Johnson, how are you today?
I'm just fantastic. Thank you for inviting me over. It's always a great time to come over and talk to you. And as I said last night, I really appreciate what you do for us and what you've done for our kids, finding that positive lining that we have there. So thank you very much.
Well, we try to do anything we can to help spotlight those kids and hopefully make their experience just a little bit better competing in sports over there. And I think that's always the biggest thing I've found with the entire staff that works from every sport to those of you in the athletics office is that you guys are all about supporting the kids, supporting the coaches, and trying to make it an enjoyable time getting out there and competing athletics, because sometimes we always get a little bit too much caught up in wins and losses and stuff like that, but it should be more than that, than just the wins and losses.
That's very, very true, and we always talk about we want to win. Now, let's not mistakenly put it out there and say that it's just about the challenge. No, it isn't. We want to win, but it's also important that we're going to teach the kids some valuable lessons in the process, and that lessons that they can take with them as they go on in their life.
And I know every year you usually have a theme about what you want to be focused on for that particular school year, and you kind of brought that out last night and what you guys are going to be focusing on this year. You're going to have a special clinic coming up here in a couple of weeks. If you want to talk a little bit about what you guys are focusing on this year.
We are calling this Character Matters. I think that it's important. I spent a little time talking to coaches about some things that we've got going on, but I truly do believe that we are going to look at changing some lives and change some attitudes with some coaches, with athletes and everything, maybe some parents, as we talk about character and the idea that sports are important. We talk about tenacity, we talk about honesty, we talk about some other things, and I think it's really important that these young people have those things, and discipline. So we're looking at those things, but we're looking at those things for our coaches. We're going to start at the top, and we're going to move right on down. And we're going to participate in the workshop that they will have on August 26th. The man will come in, and then later he's going to come in and he's going to have a short session with our kids. So we're excited about it. This gentleman has spoken all over the country, but he's also been speaking to some of the programs throughout New Mexico. So we're excited about the opportunity of advancing and training for everyone.
Well, that's something we were talking a little bit about before we went on the air is the amount of people that are involved in athletics in Alamogordo Public Schools. We maybe see a little bit more of the varsity coaches, but the JV coaches, the freshman coaches, the middle school coaches, and how many people get involved and take time out of their what already is a busy schedule. I'm sure they've got kids, they've got family, whatever it is, and how many people work so hard for athletics at Alamogordo Public Schools.
That's very, very true, and that's not only the coaching staff, but it's also the teachers that you have. You got administrators and people that are taking time to be involved in sports and being involved, not only sports, but activities that things that go on. I think you guys always hear it early in the morning when the band's practicing in the morning, they're practicing late in the afternoon. So you got those people that are working hard too, because these are all part of it. So it's not just sports only, but it's activities. It's people that help to combine to make this a good program, and we want the community to buy into what we're doing, and that they understand it's just not one-sided. It's a lot of things that make these things happen.
Well, and I'd say you're talking about people being involved, and something else we were talking about was this summer, and every coach I've had in so far, they've been talking about, well, during the summer we were doing this, and during the summer we were doing that, and to a T, you can probably name every single program over at Alamogordo Public Schools that we're doing things this summer, which is, it's not mandatory. Those kids have the choice to come in and not, but they choose to come in there and work on getting better and getting ready for the next season.
That is exactly right. We don't pay them 1 cent for what they're doing out there, and they come in and they spend the time. The young people are there. We probably had more athletes involved in our program this past summer than we've had in a long, long time. So we're excited about starting the season. We're excited about the things that are going to happen. And every year that this starts or happens, I should say, I'm excited because I'm always waiting for them to play that school song. I get goosebumps every time I hear it as the teams come on the field or that our kids are introduced and everything. So it's an opportunity. And that's what we look for.
Something I do want to mention, there was a quick schedule change. We had Coach Hooper in last week, and you guys hadn't quite finalized yet, but the scrimmage, there is a date change when you guys are going to do that over in Roswell, right?
Yes, there is. The game was scheduled for Thursday the 22nd in the Wool Bowl. Well, due to some scheduling problems that they had over there, that we have moved that to the 23rd, and it will still be in the Wool Bowl. And the scrimmage will start at 5 p.m.
All right. Well, there are a couple of questions I want to ask, and just because we're moving forward, this is the final year of that 4-year block in terms of classification, and something that you obviously deal with as an athletic director. Is everything set for what's going to happen in 2014 and 2015 in terms of districts and things like that, or is that still yet to be figured out in the next coming months?
That is still waiting to be figured out, because we're waiting for the numbers to come in for this final year as to what the enrollment is to the different schools and everything, and then the decision will be made as to whether you will move up, whether you will move down, what district you might be in. All of those things are being worked on right now as we speak, but nothing is final until we get the numbers this year, which will go through the board of directors, and that probably will happen about November, somewhere in that realm, that they will decide what's going on there, because we'll be looking at the fact that by November we have to start working. Everybody has to start working on football the following year, as we are dealing with people in New Mexico, but also some of the people are talking to people in Texas and in El Paso and some of the border cities around in southern New Mexico that they're playing, or southern Colorado that they're playing. So we have to be able to try to put a schedule together. And if we wait all the way until December or January, then they can't get enough games.
And the way it will be set up is official now that they will take the top 24 schools that will be in 5A in terms of population. Those will be the top 24 that'll be in 5A, or did they decide to go in a different direction when it came to
Well,
that?
what they're looking at is basically something similar to that, but what they're going to try to do, and this is what will make it a variance, because we believe that there's going to be some people in Albuquerque that may elect to play up. Their numbers may be down, but they're going to elect to play up. So those are some things that we're going to deal with. So you might just happen to you may have 26 people in that classification, just because some people say, we don't want to play here, we want to play up. Now, we don't have the option of playing down, but, just because of choice, but we will start to look at some of those things. But that's how that's going to work for now. So things will change. I said it in the spring last year. What you're seeing is not what it's going to be like in 2 months' time.
And have they made the final decision on whether they're going to put a multiplier on the private schools in the state of New Mexico yet?
There are some of those things, but the multiplier really doesn't change where they are.
Okay.
You have a couple of schools up north that are electing to play up. Albuquerque Academy is one of those schools that has elected to play up every year. And so those are some things to look at as to who wants to do what, to a certain extent, as to the numbers. And so this is going to be a numbers game, and it's not going to have a whole bunch to do with what you want as much as what's supposed to be there.
Okay. Something I ask about, and this is something that's been floated out there. I don't know if there's any new information on it. People have talked about the idea of putting in the field turf over at the football stadium. Field of Dreams just put that in. Is that anywhere in any type of discussion, or what's the talks on that?
Without offending anybody necessarily, it is in the talk stage. Yes, it has been in the talk stage for a number of years.
Yeah.
I believe that we are going to be close to that. There's a lot of ideas going around. There's a lot of people that are talking about it, and they are saying that they are very supportive of it. And with the difficult economic times, then you have to review those things. But if we have some other options and alternatives or anything else, and people are coming to the table all the time, they've got ideas. And so we're exploring as many things as we can to see if we can get turf in as soon as possible. Hopefully sooner than later, but we're hanging in there.
Yeah, obviously it depends on funds and all that, and I think everybody understands that. All right, let's move to some of the fall sports, and of course, I think a lot of people will be paying attention to what's going on with football. Of course, with Coach Dale Hooper coming in, you were out there at Midnight Madness. You seemed to really enjoy that whole process. That was a new thing for us here at Alamogordo High School. I thought it was a very special, hopefully, tradition that started there, and I don't know what your impressions on Midnight Madness and all the people that showed up out there.
It's pretty neat. I think that people that normally are going to bed about that time, or young people that were going to bed about that time, they came out and sat out there, and we had a good time watching and spending some time and fellowshipping with some different people that they hadn't been around. But I thought it was a lot of fun, and the kids enjoyed it. And I know the boys were excited about the opportunity to show what they've learned and to have an opportunity to do a little bit of tackling and just having some good fun. And I think Coach Hooper got a chance to show what he's going to be about, and they had an opportunity to say, we're going to play a real fast game. And I think you noticed that everything that was going on out there, it was quick. And so I thought that was pretty neat.
Talking with APS Athletic Director Lawrence Johnson is with us today here on the Roundup. And it certainly seems there is a level of excitement around the football program this year. The schedule is exactly the same as it was last year, obviously just a switch of the home and away dates from last season. But certainly, I think a very solid schedule, especially the first two games up in the Albuquerque area against Los Lunas and West Mesa. Those are going to be two very quality opponents they're going to open up the season with. I
think so. West Mesa has a new head coach. Los Lunas has a new head coach also, so they lost their coach last year. So, where Coach Hooper had come in and he was familiar with the Los Lunas coach, that guy left and moved away, and then the coach at West Mesa was there last year, and then Hooper comes in. He's new, so it's all just a shuffle right there, but I think that it's going to be some exciting games. West Mesa is anticipating they're going to be better. Los Lunas was runner-up in Class 4A last year, so good programs and going to be a very good test as to where we are.
And we're also going to get to see the new stadium that they built up in Albuquerque, which I've seen some pictures of it, and that place is unbelievable.
That's fantastic. They have built an excellent facility to be proud of. They put it all together at one time, and it's only a football stadium is what it is, or they can use it for other things, kind of like other events. But there's no track around that stadium. They have put it together as a football venue, and then they're also looking at the idea that it's their Albuquerque Sports Complex that they're looking at, APS Sports Complex that they're looking at, and they're going to put some more fields and things around it and everything. So it's pretty neat. So I look forward to seeing it.
Yeah, it's going to be out on the west side. If anybody is in, of course, if you're heading up for the West Mesa game on that Saturday coming up in the second weekend of September. Obviously, the first sports that get started, as it seems like every single year, will be soccer, and there's a fair amount of optimism, I think, with both the boys and the girls program. We'll start with the boys program. It has definitely been an uphill climb. They made a big step forward last year, and Coach Atkinson seems to think that he's got one of the better teams that he's had, and that they can do some stuff this year. This is a good quality team.
I think they can, and Coach Atkinson has made that comment already that he believes that these young men are going to be successful. We talked about it a little earlier that, he stays on fire himself. He gets excited and he wants to be successful, and he breeds that little passion with those young people. So we're excited about that, and the kids that he's got in the program. They probably had more kids try out for the team this year than we've had in a couple of years. And so we're moving forward. I think we're heading the right direction.
Another program that you have stability in is the girls soccer program. Drex has been there for a number of years now, and they've always been right on the edge of making the playoffs. They've been there at 1 year, and it seems like they're right around 500. He's got a lot of youth, but he also seems pretty happy with what he's going to have. A lot of skill, it appears to be out there this year for him.
I think so, and I think that he has spent a lot of time with these young ladies and trying to make sure that program is going to grow, and that he's got kids that are getting the proper number of touches and everything. He has a staff that's been with him for a couple of years now, and they are going to make a difference. I think coaches being on the right page, they make sure that the young people are doing the things that they need to do. And so, when you have a good staff with you, then it makes your job a little bit easier. But I think these kids are ready to make a jump to the next level, and I think as you said, we've been there and right on the cusp of making that move, but we're doing it.
Boys are going to be at home next Tuesday as they take on Chaparral. I think varsity plays at 7 o'clock over at the Soccerplex, and the girls will be on the road against Goddard next Tuesday to open up their season. Volleyball, Coach Gettler comes back this year. It was a little bit of a struggle last year, but they were a bit young and bringing in some new players and new coach. But it seemed like he was happy with the way things progressed as the season went on. And obviously, you say you can't always judge a season by wins and losses in terms of the success that you had. And you seem to be pretty happy with the progression that he's making and that the effort that's going on in that program as well.
Our skill level has improved so much, and our piece is that we need a couple of 6-footers or 6'2" to move into that spot. But right now, the young people that we don't have the great size, but they'll be disciplined, they'll play hard, and they understand the game. And I think, as I said, our skill level has improved. And Coach Gettler uses the expression, he says, no excuses. And he works very, very hard at what he's doing. He's been there with them all summer. And they've gotten into some team camps in the summertime and playing, and they've played some of the top teams in the North. And so, they got a pretty good idea of where they stand, but I think these kids are going to do well for themselves, and they're going to play hard.
Well, last year, Justin Giggler stepped into the cross-country position. Doc Helm, of course, had been there for so many years, and he did a wonderful job as a first-year head coach. Had some kids that got to go up there and compete up in Rio Rancho at the state tournament. Seems like that program is going along well, and Coach Giggler has fit in very nicely into the cross-country program.
I think so. A little youth and a little excitement. Right now, I think he's got like 44 kids out, so the numbers are good. And he's looking to compete for the district championship on the girls' side again. And I know that he gets excited, and he's that young guy that when the gun goes off, the kids start running and the coaches start running across country, and they run from place to place to place. And so it's going to be an exciting time for everybody concerned. So I think that we look forward to some good things there. We open up with them on our first meet. The first home meet will be September the 7th, but they're going to run in El Paso at the Del Valle meet on the 31st of August.
Also want to mention as well, they don't start their competition schedule until November and to that point, but a new cheer coach, Kim Bowie, retired after last season. Many successful seasons for her as the head coach over there, and you bring in a new head coach to take over the program.
Yeah, Candace Dorman has come in. She's an employee of the district, and Kim did an outstanding job. We got the trophy for the third-place finish that the girls earned last year. So we did get that, but Kim has done an outstanding job. But Candace has some varsity head coaching experience. She comes to us from Tucson, Arizona, where she was a head coach there. So it's a change, and we hope that we're just going to change, but we're not going to lose any momentum or anything. We're going to go forward. The girls have been working this summer, and Coach Dorman is putting things in place.
All right. Well, Mr. Johnson, as always, we appreciate you coming on by. If there is a message you want to send out there to the community about the upcoming 13-14 school year and athletics year, we'll go ahead and let you have the mic. Anything you want to get out there to the community?
Well, we want everybody to know that, these are your teams. These are your kids. And I should say our kids. And I'm excited about the opportunity to be able to work in this system and work in these programs with these young people and with the coaches. And we need you. We need the people in the district to come out, in the community to come out and watch these kids perform. And, the kids are going to perform at a very, very high level, and it's nothing wrong with the idea of, guys, we're going to do all we can to make Tiger sports very, very special. And if you hear my message all the time, I always say sports are good for kids. And if you're not in sports, be a sport, always.